The hot fairy threesome happened in this book, and I was so happy about it. I'm still kind of settling into the idea of it moving forward. How will it work with that cottage? And they're all spread out. Christina is going back to Mexico. Mark is going to work for the Shadowhunter Alliance in New York. And Karen is busy being the Unseelie King. But it was just the sweetest thing. As it happened, I was like, oh my God, don't fight it, you guys. Go for it. Just go for it. I love when Christina gets that weird romantic note from Karen in the beginning. And Emma's like, this is weird. It's weird. Is it weird? It's weird. We learned more about the Zara Diego relationship, that she was basically blackmailing him using Rosales family secrets that she would expose. What are all these secrets in the Rosales family? We still didn't learn any of that. Where did they get the Eternidad? We got a reference to one of her ancestors who helped certain type of fairy back in the past, but it was very vague. Also, the special necklaces, the special ancestor time necklace thing that has an angel on it. We learned from Horace that there used to be 3 that the Clave had, and 1 is missing, but it looks like on Emma's necklace that she gets from the Clave, some sort of family crest was taken off of it. So where did they originally come from? Why does the Rosales family have one? What is up with Faye's and the Rosales family? There's also a suspicious amount of times that Karen calls Christina a princess. I don't know what's going on there, but Karen can't lie, and it comes out of nowhere in the beginning. She's just like, I'm not a princess. Is Christina a princess? What's going on there? There's gotta be more ties to Faerie, more secrets in the Rosales family than we know about. There's so many unanswered questions. There's basically an entire side plot in this book dedicated to hating oatmeal. Poor Helen is making it in the kitchen for her siblings. At first, Christina doesn't really like oatmeal, and then she makes eye contact with Mark, who is like, I don't like oatmeal either. And then Drew doesn't like it. Drew straight up tells Helen that she's not gonna eat it. And Tabby says he doesn't like it. And I'm just sitting here feeling personally victimized by this oatmeal hate. You're obviously not doing it right, because oatmeal is delicious. And then it's not even over then, because we go to Thule, they have oatmeal for breakfast, and Emma says it tastes like eating paper. If it tastes like eating paper, you did not make it right. Izzy and Simon in this book, I feel like Izzy and Simon were like cardboard cutouts that were just placed in certain scenes. There was one really nice scene in the beginning. 90% of our interactions with Izzy and Simon are, hey guys! I looked over and saw Izzy and Simon, gave them a wave. There's Izzy and Simon! Wave! It was so weird to be like in tune with what's going on with Jason Clare and Alec and Magnus, but like Izzy and Simon were these wavers in the back. We'll be over here. Did they set a date? Are they married? Where do they live? So Dearborn sends Emma and Julian on a suicide mission to Faerie to retrieve the Black Book. Julian's feelings are off. He's a constant ass. He's using the map to lead us to the Unseelie Court. And then what do you know? We show up at the Seelie Court, and the whole time he's been lying to Emma. And we know from last time he made a deal with the Queen. If she got her the Black Book, then she would help them break their Parabatai bond. And he gets there, and he pulls out an entire photocopied, binded version of the Black Book from Office Max. And there were some funny Office Max jokes. And I was just very confused because Julian, I just went back and reread this passage because I was confused. There's this scene where he's talking to Annabelle in Lord of Shadows, and he's like, oh, I have an idea. She won't even know what a camera phone is. And he takes some pictures of the Black Book. They talk for maybe like 4 minutes. And then that's it. She takes the book back. But somehow he managed to take pictures of the entire Black Book. Ty has those pictures, and I thought maybe it was just like the Rising from the Dead spell. But like, he got the whole book just with pictures from his phone. The book has got to be at least this, but I don't think the Black Book is like 10 pages. Do you? Is it? Is it a 10-page book? Maybe I'm overreacting and it's a 10-page book. And Julian was able to get pictures of the whole thing and print it in 8x10 or whatever regular book size is. I just wish we saw when he did it because it made me mad. I already was so mad at him. And it's like, if you were doing that, why didn't you tell Emma? Why? We do learn more about the Parabatai ruins origins. It was made by Jonathan Shadowhunter and his friend David the Silent. They inscribed it in blood on this little tile, and all Parabatai bonds can be broken at once if they find this original rune in the Silent City and slice it. The more we learn about Parabatai in this book, the more I was like, maybe we should slice it. Maybe I was playing into the Queen's hands, but maybe I wasn't. We go to Thule and learn that all Parabatai one day just woke up as monsters. If that's not a warning, then I don't know what is. Everything everything else in there was so accurate to what was happening in your world. You were seeing your future if everything continued to go to shit. So when Emma went by herself to Silent City to cut the Parabatai rune, I was like, girl, I think better safe than sorry. I'm still very up in the air about how I feel about the Parabatai rune arc. I feel like we're missing something. We really worked up this curse, and then there weren't enough consequences at the end. And that's like my one big issue with Queen of Air and Darkness. I was expecting so much fallout, but there really wasn't any with Emma and Julian. I honestly thought maybe they would Romeo and Juliet. I thought something really devastating was gonna happen. It was gonna be really poetic and horrible and go down in history about this Parabatai that fell in love and all this stuff. I still don't understand what happened at the end. I understand it, but I don't. So we learned that in the past, there was no law against Parabati's falling in love. Married Parabatai just existed, but one time they just blew up into these fire monsters, burned down their whole city or wherever they were, and then they died because they were flaming with heavenly fire. I am fine with all of that. I'm fine learning about Nephilium having been giants at one time to destroy demons because demons were bigger. What doesn't make sense to me is that Emma and Julian collapsed and slept for 3 days, and their Parabatai runes were just burned away, and nothing bad happened. It was like, oh, good thing you blew up into fire monsters because or else you'd still be Parabatai. Jace has heavenly fire in him, right? In City of Heavenly Fire, he barely survives, and he does because he's got so much angel blood in him. He's special, and even then, he can't touch Clary for a while. He burns her. I need to know why Emma and Julian were able to withstand all the heavenly fire. It didn't last like a second. This was going on for a little bit. They were banging around as huge things. I'm just waiting for the other foot to drop. Like, what are the side effects of this heavenly fire that exploded through them? All the other couples we learned about burned up. Everyone kept saying they're gonna die, they're gonna die, they're gonna die. And then they collapse and they sleep for 3 days and there's nothing else. They're all hunky-dory. They could be together and everything's fine. It just doesn't make sense to me. What happened? Where's the darkness? How did they manage to get off scot-free? I feel like Cassie must have a side effect in mind. We didn't see it, and it kind of just makes the ending feel off kilter to me. Everything's not fine. Everything's a hot mess in the world, but they're good. And I'm like, no. Julian can't just be good. I wanted this book to murder everything. I know Cassie likes a happy ending, but everything felt like it was building to this tragic end. They blew up to pillars of heavenly fire and they murdered people, and there was no consequences for them, which okay, it's during the war, but like no consequences for their physical beings confuses the crap out of me. I was in hysterical tears when the Blackthorns were holding hands and walking across the battlefield together. I was bawling. This is it. They're not gonna come back and be the same. Nothing can be the same with them after this. And then everything was the same and happy. We didn't get answers about Cortana and whether or not, now that she shadowed the mortal sword, she is like a mortal sword. I wish we tested that little theory out. We learned more about the Eternidad. It's shaped like an infinity sign. It looks like it's carved out of a twisted wood. It can let you enter and leave Faerie undetected. It can take you wherever you tell it to, but it's confirmed by Jamie and Diego that they don't even know everything that it does. And they specifically say a couple of times that you can only use it correctly if you have Rosalis blood. And there's this look exchanged between Jamie and Christina when he says it that screamed to me, this is a lie we're telling so that no one else can use the Eternidad. It sounds like a lie your parents tell you when they don't want you to touch something. I'm looking forward to the Wicked Powers when Drew is older and all of a sudden she and Jamie are dateable entities. If there's one Blackthorn that really hit me emotionally in this book, it was Drew. I cried so many times when she was doing things because everything she's saying is so relatable to being 13. She's trying so hard. In a lot of ways, it was like the 8th grade arc of Queen of Air and Darkness. You really want to be a part of things, but no one will take you seriously, but you're not a child anymore. You still have to like take care of the other kid. You're old enough to, want to know what's going on, but not old enough to have been experienced enough to really have something that people think is worth listening to. The struggle of never being taken seriously, and when she knew at the end that they had to go confront Julian and Emma. They needed to be on that battlefield. I was just in tears when she was trying to talk to Ty. When she and Kieran were watching horror movies together and Kieran was asking her about his love life. Just beautiful. She tells him, don't remain silent about what you want, or you may never get it. You are very wise. Well, I actually saw that on a mug. Mugs in this world are very wise. We can add the cohort to the list of things that weren't completely resolved in this book. Alex is elected consul, and it's so exciting for like half a second until all of a sudden they all take out knives. And I got really, really scared for Alex. And then they turn the knives on themselves. Everyone who didn't support the cohort cause had to leave Alicante and never come back, or else they'd kill themselves. And now the entire Shadowhunter government has been uprooted, and Alec gets to form it from the bottom up, which is just so exciting because I know he's gonna do an amazing job. But now it's gonna be centered in New York, and the new Shadowhunter Academy is gonna be in New York. And the Sholomance, I think that was in Alicante. So now the Sholomance is gonna have to be moved as well. Will that be in New York? It feels like New York's gonna be our new hub where things are happening. Drew is thinking about going to the Academy, so she might be out there. The Shadowhunter Alliance is there. Something that wasn't really explained in the Seelie Court was that little vial that Neen gave the two of them to be invisible to the Unseelie Court. I want to know what that was because it made their Parabatai runes glow like E.T. Did it have something to do with their Parabatai bond? Little vials of things around people's neck show up a lot in this book. That's something we haven't really seen in the Shadowhunter world much. The Seelie King had one. Fake Annabelle Blackthorn had one, who is actually an Eidolon demon. We don't really know what this kind of magic is. I'm assuming it's something that originates in Faerie, that they gave the Eidolon demon to be immune to Seraph Blade magic. I thought originally that's a vial of Ash's blood. We haven't even talked about Ash yet. I guess we'll see. That's another mystery to add to the list. Let's talk about Ash. I just want to say, I just need to revel in the fact for a minute that one of my theories from back in the, like this is from City of Heavenly Fire, has come to fruition. You know, it took 5 years, but it happened! It happened! Sebastian and the Seelie Queen had sex, and their spawn has grown up, and he indeed showed up in Lord of Shadows. It is hardcore confirmed that Ash is Sebastian Morgenstern's brat. And this kid is creepily enchanting, and not in an endearing way, in an uncomfortable, like everyone he looks at him wants to love him sort of way. He's the Unseelie King's key to wiping out all Shadowhunters by like merging him with the Black Book, which aka is also called the Dark Artifices. Queen of Air and Darkness honestly brought back a lot of feelings. There's a lot of City of Lost Souls, City of Heavenly Fire related shit going on. My hatred for Sebastian just came exploding out of me when we saw Ash. Julian is in a bit of a frenzy because he wants to kill Annabelle. And there's this Hollows or Horcruxes moment where Emma and Julian are watching and they're like, do we go for the black volume or do we kill Annabelle? And I'm just sitting here seething. Kill the spawn. Kill the spawn. This is it. This is what is going to be Clary's downfall. Clary is going to die trying to love Ash. Clary had this whole dream that she was dead, and she saw this image of herself dead in Thule. And now that this series is over, we kind of think we're out of the woods, but really this is just like the middle book in the series, and I think that can still come to fruition. And Ash is definitely going to be one of our big bads in the Wicked Powers, okay? He has wings, he has all these mysterious powers, and then we have the foil of him in Kit, who is the original heir, who's this light, this bright light of happiness and sunshine. Then we have, of course, Dark Jace and regular Jace. At the end, they show up in Seelie, and Seelie Queen's like, you brought me the sun, what do you want? Anything, anything. I want Clary Fairchild. I'm sitting over here like, have we already been through this? Do we have another sword lying around full of heavenly fire? Is he gonna want to love Clary? Is Dark Jace and regular Jace gonna have to fight? I think good Jace can take him. I do. Are we gonna be able to flip bad Jace so there's just two twin good Jaces? What is the plan? Evil Ash, the spawn, obviously loves evil Jace. He has feelings. He's not all bad, but he definitely is a little bad. And I think he's gonna be one of those characters that walks the line, and then when you least expect it, will stab you in the back. I'm excited. I think it's gonna be really interesting. I'm not excited about Dark Jace. Like, you can go fall in a hole. When we find Jason Clary in the Unseelie Court prison, I got so excited. Everything was so much better. Anytime they're around, it was just a highlight of my life. I forgot how much I love them. I know I just did the TMI versus TID versus TDA tag, and I said that I loved Will more than Jace, but I don't know. I love them both so much. Adult Jace is even better than not adult Jace. He just gets better with age. At the point before we went into Jason Clary, I was getting really frustrated with Emma and Julian. Julian and their stupid decision not to kill the kid. I know you didn't know Sebastian personally like I did. I knew him. I think the award for the most badass moment of this book for me was when Diana was called into Dearborn's office. He threatened to blackmail her unless she backed him for consul. She agreed, cut off his arm, and jumped out the window. It was amazing. Diana is such a badass. I love her. From that scene, we went right back to the unsealing court where shit just exploded. Kieran murdered the king. Annabelle took Ash through the portal to Thule. We get to see Jace fighting a rider, and man, I got such chills watching Emma watch Jace fight. I missed him. I miss watching Jace slay things. The unsealing king explodes into fire. Emma can't get back to everyone else who's using the Eternidad to leave, and so she and Julian are forced to go through the portal to Thule as well, and then we're in fucking Thule. The string of profanities that exited my mouth while I was reading Thule is unending. When I read Thule, I was in a salon for my friend's birthday, getting my nails done with a group of women. I'm sitting there reading. 1 minute, I'm gasping and yelling profanities because holy shit, the unsealing court. And then we're in Thule, and I am trying not to get hysterical because I can't. And then we get to that line about Alec and Magnus, and all of a sudden, I am just not. I could not breathe. I was not okay. This is honestly the most emotional I got throughout the entire book was in this moment. It was like blow after blow after blow, and after a while, I was like, get me the fuck out of Thule. Oh, it was so emotional seeing Livy, and honestly, everything. The gasp that came out of my mouth when Jace killed Mars. Oh, it was so gross. I just kept gagging on Sebastian. Every time it was like, I prefer redheads. Bring me a redhead. He's disgusting. He's disgusting. I just kept yelling at the book. And also I was hysterical. And also I just had every emotion ever. And thank God, Julian was back to his normal self because I could not deal with asshole Julian in this world. We find Tessa and Thule to help us, and she's like, I'll help you. But like, if you get a chance in exchange, do you mind just like killing Sebastian on your way out? Is that, I wouldn't ask if it wasn't important. Can you do it, please? Really? Really, Tessa? I love you, but like, really? And then Julian's like, oh, I have an idea. Why don't we get the cup and get the sword and bring them to our realm? And that way, this Sebastian won't be able to find them. Can we not add Thule to our list of things to save right now? I feel like Livy's got this. I believe in her. This whole section of Thule was like the end of Breaking Dawn Part 2 if that never ended. Like if it just kept going for ages and we were stuck in it. When Annabelle brings in that dog and it has lavender eyes and it turns out the dog is Malcolm, you are, stop coming back into our fucking lives. Ugh, and Sebastian's like, Annabelle's one of my best torturers. Ew. I just don't understand, Annabelle. Why are you such a crazy asshole? I just keep believing like maybe we could be friends. I thought we could be friends. But no. We also got a hint in Thule that Ash has a little bit of crush on Drew. It looks like we're heading toward a weird love triangle in the Wicked Powers with Drew and Jamie and Ash. I love where we're going with Ash as a villain. He's not entirely Sebastian-y, like he's not completely dark. He's more of a Valentine villain, and I love that he's related to some of our people, and I love that he has love interests. I'm just very excited. So in the end here, we get into the Silent City, we get the Mortal Sword, we give the Mortal Cup to Livy to create more Shadowhunters. Ash betrays Sebastian, and in doing that, gives Emma the opening to kill him with the Mortal Sword because only someone from a different dimension could kill Sebastian in this dimension because he was so powerful. And then they get away. They ask Ash to come with them, but Ash is like, no, I won't leave without Jace. And he flies away. The most important thing to me to come out of Thule was that the Lake Lynn water is a cure to the warlock sickness and the blight that's been spreading. After that, Magnus is able to remove the stopgap so Julian can have emotions again. He specifically says, right after he does it, don't touch each other, don't talk to each other, don't even think about each other. 5 minutes later, Julian and Emma. So, like, maybe just like one more sex? I mean, literally, right after that, they go upstairs and they're like, maybe one more make out sesh. How dumb are you guys? guys, we end with a wedding. It's becoming tradition to end with a wedding. It's a surprise wedding for Magnus, and Alec pulls him aside and proposes like halfway through the evening, and he gives the most beautiful, touching speech. He says, when one day people look back on me and what my life meant, I don't want them to say Alec Lightwood fought in the Dark War, or even Alec Lightwood was consul once. I want them to think Alec Lightwood loved one man so much he changed the world for him. I can't. Livy's ghost is now tied to Ty, I guess until Ty dies, unless there's something he can do. I don't know, I feel like Livy's gonna be around a lot in the Wicked Powers, and it's gonna have a really big effect on Ty's evolution as a human being. Now that we're always ending with weddings, whose wedding are we gonna end on in the Wicked Powers? I hope Jace and Clary's. I was hoping that we'd see Clary now propose to Jace since she turned him down, since I still think there's room for her to die in the next series, like for her prophecy to be fulfilled. I love when she and Emma have their nice talks. They have this sisterly bond that's so lovely. Jace and Clara need to get married. They have to. I need to see every couple from the Mortal Instruments married and happy before anything happens to them. I think those are all my thoughts on Queen of Air and Darkness. I'd love to hear yours. Please share in the comments. My name's Christine. I make videos every Tuesday. All my links are in the description. I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Goodbye!